All right, man. We're rocking. What's going on, Drew?
Not much about you, Tyler.
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for jumping on here. Everyone out there hanging out with us today. This is Drew Flanagan. He
So,
is the Senior High Wilderness Dean this year here at Oil Belt Camp. And so, Drew, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're living, and you can tell us where you're from too, because that's two different places, which is pretty cool.
yeah,
So, introduce yourself.
I'm student pastor at First Christian Church in Carmi. And so obviously I live here in Carmi, but I'm from East Tennessee. So I grew up, went to Johnson, lived in Georgia for a while, to church there, and now I've been here for almost 4 years.
4 years. I didn't realize it's been that long. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is very awesome. I'm trying to get it pulled up over here on this side to make sure everything's rolling. I need a webcam on my computer, but everywhere is sold out, so that's not working very good.
You should just have a Mac.
I do have a Mac, but it's so terribly slow. It's like
Well,
an 09. It's like an 09.
Oh,
Cameras were like an 09.
yeah, that's part of the problem.
It's pitiful. It's like a flip phone. It's like a flip phone. So tell me, what have you guys been doing for church and how in youth group down in Carmi the last few weeks?
Yeah, so church is a premiere. It's kind of like a live stream or a YouTube video of our normal type stuff, couple worship songs, teaching on Sunday mornings, and then youth group, we're doing Zoom meetings Wednesday nights, and then breaking up into small groups from there. So those are going good. My kids may not know this yet, but today we're actually going to start delivering quarantine kits. So lots of junk food delivered to their door and some coupons for some free stuff from Taco Factory and Huck's, thanks to our sponsor.
That is awesome. Well, that was going to be a question: is what junk food is your go-to down there?
Oh, I'm a taco guy. Pretty much everybody knows, so I hit up Taco Factory pretty hard. And I like DiMaggio's Chicago-style pizza.
Yeah, that is solid. That is solid. What's your go-to candy?
Go-to candy? I don't eat a lot of candy, Tyler.
I know, but I thought it was like Reese's or something.
Yeah, I'd probably go with a Reese's or maybe a Snickers, something chocolatey probably. I'd take chocolate over like Sour Patch Kids or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, we're not like 7 anymore.
That's right.
That's awesome. Hey, well, okay, man. So you mentioned you're from Carmi. I know there's a bunch of people joining like now. This is Drew Flanagan. He is our Senior High Wilderness Dean this year for camp here at Oil Belt. So Drew, tell us your Oil Belt story. You said you've been at Carmi for 4 years. Before that, you're from Tennessee. So what have you done here at camp? How much have you come? It's been a lot. You've been very active your last 4 years. So tell us about your camp experience here at Oil Belt.
Yeah. So shortly after I came on staff here at Carmi, our church actually shifted to let Oil Belt be our church camp. And so we've sort of grown into our involvement. My first year, that first summer, I did Encounter 2, I think. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a huge role. I was just kind of there hanging out and just getting to know people and what camp looked like and how it worked. And so since then, I come to our monthly youth minister meetings when I can. We've been doing Strange. We were really bummed that the big overnighter was canceled. This was our first year we were going to be able to do that. And then I do the Wilderness Weeks of Camp every year. So for the last couple of years, I've done multiple weeks of Wilderness Camp. And every summer I start out saying, I'm going to do 1 week, Tyler, 1 week of Wilderness. And I do 2 the last 2 years. So this summer, I'm going to do 1 week of Wilderness, Tyler.
I don't know how you keep getting roped in, but it works really well.
Well, I really enjoy it. Out of all the weeks of camp offered, I know there are a ton out there, and I don't have experience with all of them, but Wilderness is definitely the best, so I can say that.
For sure. Well, and your wife actually messages me and says, hey, Drew needs out of the house. Can you send him off to Wilderness for a week?
Yeah, probably so.
That's actually how it works. So, hey, tell me about Wilderness Camp this year, Senior High Wilderness. What are you guys doing? Where are you going?
Yeah. So we're going to Indiana to the Hoosier National Forest, really shaking things up. We've been going um, to Discovery Ministries for quite a while now. So we just thought we'd do something different. So it's really going to be primarily a backpacking trip. We're going to backpack. I don't want to give it all away because some of the element of surprise is fun in their trip. So we're going to backpack around some small lakes. And so in doing that, we'll build our own shelters. We're obviously going to cook all of our own meals over fires. We're going to have some solo time we spend with God. We're going to fish and cook whatever we catch because we'll be hungry people. But most importantly, what I love about our weeks of camp, the Wilderness Week specifically, is that we get to spend time looking at God's word in a very different fashion. So for probably most of the other weeks of camp, it's loud and a lot of fun and exciting. And those are all great things. But my life has already got tons of loud noises in it. And so on the Wilderness Week, it just gives us an opportunity to be still and to have some quiet time to be alone with God. And it's just refreshing, honestly, for me to get out there and be like, man, I'm going to spend 30 minutes and all I'm going to hear is nature, whether we're by a river or a lake or there are birds or whatever kind of animals. We see lots of unique things like horses in the wild, whatever that is, and spend time soaking up God through nature. And so I love that.
That's true. That is awesome. That is awesome. Real quick, I'm going to throw up. There's some questions coming up on Facebook.
Yeah.
People saying hi, and I want to address them real quick. Where's my stream? Dan Kingery says hi. You probably don't know Dan, but I do. And
Yeah.
Zach Root, who gives a shout out to Kobe, by the way.
Yeah, great picture there.
That's solid. Is camp canceled this year? Zach, camp is not canceled at the moment. We are waiting till the shelter in place rules and guidelines get opened up here at the end of the month, and we will be making decisions for that then. So we are still planning on having camp. It is not canceled right now. So I wanted to answer that real quick since that popped up.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, man. So you're talking about wilderness camp and going off site and things. What's what you mentioned some awesome things, but what are some of your favorite memories from the oil belt trips that you can throw out there that won't terrify people to come to wilderness?
Yeah.
None.
No, there are a lot. So last year, and I'm sorry if you were on that trip, last year we had a pretty novice group. It's a nice way, I think, of saying that as far as their outdoor experience. It was the junior high week, and they definitely learned a lot. Great guys, had a great week. They did not know how to canoe. So we had a lot of people flip their canoes very quickly. I think we ended up counting, we were almost to like 14 or 15 canoe flips in our canoe portion last year. I didn't flip mine, but so that was a lot of fun. And it got to the point where people were just doing it on purpose. They were just flipping for fun. Parents, it's all safe. We have on life jackets.
Yeah.
Another great memory from last year on our high school week was we're canoeing down the river, and we canoed to a spring that was coming in. So there's this massive cave. We canoed back into the cave, and this spring is just gushing this crystal clear, ice cold water out of it. And so I think about half of our group, we got up on this little bitty rock out of our boats, life jackets on, of course, safety first, and we jumped into this water, and it just like crazy feeling of like an ice bath. And it just, those experiences, it's like, man, you can't do that anywhere else. Like I haven't been able to do anything close to that since then. And those things for me are just a ton of fun. We saw lots of cool stuff. We saw bat caves, and I mentioned a minute ago seeing the horses. We saw wild horses. I think that was 2 years ago, and that was growing up in East Tennessee. I'd never seen a wild horse in my life.
It is crazy down there. Not to mention you were with a guide who was showing you all this stuff and helping you with it. So yeah, safety is a big thing we do. But there is so many cool experiences out there that you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So as we wrap up, tell me what are some encouraging things you've been doing to get through this quarantine. I know you have family at home and all that good stuff as well, on top of church. So, what are some things that have helped you mentally, physically, spiritually get through this well?
Yeah. I run some. And so during this time, I've been running more. I just had a little more free time, I guess, a little more time in my schedule to make that happen. And that's really life-giving in a couple ways for me. So running, I think exercise is just important for all of us. That releases stress. But also when I run, I always listen to a podcast. And so it's normally Greg Prochelle or Andy Stanley or Carrie Newhoff. Those are kind of my guys I'm into right now. And it just feeds into me, feeds truth, how to lead through this time. And what I think is really important, Tyler, is what we feed in our life grows. And so for me, making sure to feed into the right things, to feed into the Word of God, that grows, and not let fear or anxiety and not let that be what I'm feeding in my life. So that's not what's growing, but using this time just to strengthen my relationship with the Lord. So that when I'm able to get back to teaching and preaching like normal, I'll be all fired up and ready to go. So Kids at Wilderness, man, you may be some of my first sermons back, and we're gonna go out in the woods. We're gonna have tent revivals. You know what I'm saying?
you're gonna have a week of them. They can't go anywhere.
That's right.
Further down the trail. So start walking, and you're gonna start talking.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a good point, though. I haven't thought about that. Once people get back to church, those sermons are going to be really long.
Yeah, they are. Lots of fellowship meals too.
Now you're speaking my language, though. I'm in for that. So, hey, man, anything else you want to throw out for camp this year? Anything else on your heart?
Let me just say, when we do Wilderness, that we eat some crazy delicious stuff. Matt Shelton is my co-dean, or whatever that assistant to the regional manager title is. But he can tell you about what we call Leah's Surprise. We obviously didn't originate. That was from one of the guys from Discovery Leah. And it is, I can't describe it because it doesn't sound that good, but instant mashed potatoes, summer sausage, and Velveeta cheese. But when you hiked all day, it's really good stuff. So we eat a lot of good food.
It does sound good. And then, of course, there's usually T-Bell on the way there or back. I don't remember.
Always some Taco Bell.
Which is good when you're going out in the woods.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, man, thank you so much for your time. You have a great day, and we will see you this summer at Oil Belt, man.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. See you, Tyler.
Thanks, Drew. See you, brother. Yeah.